In today's video, come with me to see some of the last remaining prefab houses in the UK. Called tin can houses or people's palaces, they were only ever meant to be used for 10 years, but here they still are, and some people still love them. Let's go and have a look together. Hello and welcome back to Through Lucy's Lens, weekly videos where I go somewhere that I think's interesting and hopefully you will too. In my last video I went to the Birmingham back-to-backs and I couldn't believe the reception the video had. So I felt like people enjoy mooching around unusual houses, especially houses from the past. And there's some more houses in Birmingham that are really interesting, so I'm going to go and take a look at them today. I'm not going to be able to go inside, but tomorrow I'm going to go and find some where I can go inside. And the sort of houses I'm going to be looking at today are prefabs or prefabricated houses. These were put up in the 1940s to house people that had lost their home due to bombing in the big cities. And at one point there was 150,000 prefab homes around the UK, but most of them have gone. And in Birmingham we still have a row of prefab houses that some people are living in today. A couple of years ago, the council decided that they were no longer fit for human habitation and there was a real worry that they were going to be knocked down forever. But the Birmingham Conservation Trust has got involved and they're doing work to make sure that these houses that should have only lasted 10 years keep going. So let's go and have a look at them. I'm not sure how much I'm going to be able to film because I'm always very aware that I don't want to get up into people's privacy, but I'm going to show you these remaining ones here on the border of Moseley and Hall Green in Birmingham, and then we're going to go somewhere else where we can actually look inside. I've always been fascinated with prefabs, so let's go. I lived just round the corner from these prefabs, and most days as a kid I used to walk past them and was always absolutely fascinated. This is a row of 17 Phoenix model prefabs, and it's one of the last surviving examples of this in the UK. These were built in 1947 at a cost of £1,200 each. The Phoenix model prefabs were constructed from steel plate over rolled steel poles and were favoured over other flimsier models. These prefabs were only ever meant to last 10 years, but 77 years later they're still here. They were built as a temporary solution to Britain's post-war housing problems, and between 1944 and 1949 more than 156,000 two-bedroom temporary bungalows rose across the UK. There were more than 4,000 built in Birmingham, but these are the only 17 that remain. For the time, the houses were seen as the height of luxury. They had 635 square feet of floor space as a minimum, and also a central unit that serviced the whole house with hot water. Some properties even had a hot air central heating system. They came with a fitted kitchen that contained the latest labour-saving equipment, and they also came with inbuilt cupboards for storage. People could just move in with their belongings and live a comfortable life. Most of these prefabs are owned by Birmingham City Council, with only one being privately owned. They're currently being restored to their original state. The current tenants have been temporarily rehomed and will return once they've been done. Any leftover housing stock will be available as affordable local authority housing for new tenants, with elderly or disabled citizens having priority. Oh, I don't care about my coat. This is a much more fascinating experience. So these, oh wow, look at this. So these are the new kitchens going in. Oh, they're going to make somebody so happy, aren't they? They're brilliant. So is it out the other way? Whoop.
So this is the original furniture gone back in.
Oh wow!
Obviously some of them we've got to make new furniture because the original furniture was in such a bad condition.
So they're keeping them as true to life as they possibly can.
The problem we've got, some of the residents are saying they don't want that.
Yeah, I can understand
That's not for me to say what people need to realise, they're now living in a grade 2 listed building.
Yeah.
you know, put it another way, we don't get the king that pulls in stuff to do
No.
in these grade.
Yeah, you can't do much in a grade 2 listed building, can you?
I see two options. You either have what you've got to have, or
don't. Yeah, it's incredible. Thank you so much. I'm shocked how big they are and the sloped ceilings as well.
They're quite good.
They're going to give someone a lovely home. I won't put you in.
What you won't fit him in.
How lucky was that I got to go and look inside. Thank you so much to the site manager. That was absolutely incredible. So it's now the next day, and I found that there's somewhere locally that you can go and see a prefab as it was in 1947. This prefab was situated in Yardley in Birmingham, and it was donated to the museum in 1981 by Birmingham City Council. It's at Aen Croft Museum near Bromsgrove. I've never been before, but apparently they have a really nice collection of old houses and places to mooch around, which is what I just love to do. So I'm going to drive there now and let's go and take a look together. Aen Croft near Bromsgrove is an absolute hidden gem of restored historical buildings. From a medieval townhouse to the prefab we're going to see today, it's absolutely fantastic. The prefab at Aen Croft is a different design to the ones we've seen before. This is an Archon MKV prefab that was produced by Taylor Woodrow. This prefab was manufactured in April 1946 and it was originally sited at 85 Moat Lane, Yardley in Birmingham. In 1981, Birmingham City Council donated the prefab to this museum and it was dismantled piece by piece and put together here. The Archon Mark V was one of the best known types of prefab. It was built around a tubular steel frame with corrugated asbestos cement cladding and a curved roof apex. The prefab has been on display here since 1983. I've come through the side entrance into the kitchen. Oh, this is lovely. Oh, I do love places like this, you know. So it's set up like it would have been in 1947. And this house, remember, was in Yardley in Birmingham and it was put here to the museum in 1981. Oh, it's like going into somebody's living room. I don't even know if I should really be in here. I like the way it's been set up, like it's been lived in. I appreciate that. The floor is quite sloped and bouncy. Got some make, do and mend going on here. This museum is fantastic because all the places I've been, they really just let you get on with it. So this is the original furniture, and when I went to see the refurbished prefabs yesterday, they had kept this furniture that was put in at the time. Don't know if there's anything inside. Let's have a look. Whoop. Oh wow, look at that. So this is the original furniture that was here, and this has been put back panel by panel to how it was. Have a look if there's anything in the drawers. Got the linens in the drawers, some blankets. This carpet really reminds me, this one here, really reminds me of the carpet in my granddad's council house in the 80s. Not sure whether they'd have had a television or not. I imagine they'd have been doing quite well if they did have a television, the family who lived here. Oh, it's brilliant. So let's go through. So we've come through from the kitchen to the living room. And then there's a small hallway here. I think I felt this yesterday. They're surprisingly big inside. So let's have a look what we've got through here. So first of all, we've got a bedroom. It's got the original lino or linoleum on the floor. Got a dressing table set up, and again, this is that original furniture that came with the prefabs to give the people that moved in some storage. Got that along here too. And you can see the ceiling is made from panels. So the whole house is made from panels. We've got the bed. I love the way this is set up, like it's lived in. You know, someone's just thrown their stuff on the bed, left their slippers under the bed, and they've just gone to work. Lovely big windows as well, lots of light. So from the first bedroom, still got the original switches. We go into a second bedroom, which has been made to look like a child lives here. And again, we've got that original prefab furniture. It's a shame this went up in 1947 because I won't be able to find out any census information about who actually lived here. We'll have a little look. Actually reminds me of some of the houses that they put up in the Yardley area as well. I had a friend that lived in a council property and the walls were similar to this actually. So we've got the dressing table. Now there's no central heating in here, but one of the things people did love about the prefabs when they moved in is that they were warm and there was hot running water. But in here you can see they're utilising small fires to keep warm. But it was luxurious for people that had come from maybe a slum into a bombed out house into somewhere like this because there was hot water. I believe the older they got, because they were only ever supposed to be 10 years. They were only supposed to ever be up for 10 years. I believe some people said they became damp and unsanitary to live in. But then there's other people that said they'd only be brought out in a box. So who's right? So moving around again into the hallway area. And we have a toilet, and an indoor toilet was a real luxury. And one of the positives that people said about prefab living is that there was a toilet inside their house. There were complaints that the toilet was quite small, and I can see this is actually quite small in here, but it's an indoor toilet. And compared to those back-to-back houses we looked at in last week where you had to go outside to use the loo, this is luxury. And they called these people's palaces. Houses built for working class people. And then we have the bathroom. One of the great features about these prefabs that people really loved and was quite posh, you've got 3 doors that you could use. So this is the side door here, and then most magnificently, imagine coming from a terraced house or a slum house, you've got French windows as well. So this door here can be opened up onto the garden, so that's 2 doors. Again, thinking about those back-to-backs where you just had 1 door. And then finally, coming through, you've got the front door too. So 3 different ways that you could enter or exit your home. between us viewers had a little cry after I came out of that prefab. It just reminded me so much of my granddad, my paternal granddad's house. They lived in a council house in Billesley, and I imagine the local authority fit out, so the cupboards, etc., would have been the same in his house, and it was really, really emotional. And I'm here with my sister today, and she said the same thing, and we both just had to have a little moment, because that's the thing I love most about social history is I see something that reminds me of my past or my family's past, and that to me is priceless. If you're still watching, I'm guessing you're quite interested in social history. So I just wanted to show you some of the other highlights that I found at the museum. My favourite was this telephone museum. It was absolutely amazing. Here at Aen Croft, they have the biggest collection of public phone boxes in the UK, and they even have their very own exchange. Hello? Can you hear me? What do you want? What are we doing later? Hello? Run by the most dedicated volunteers, and they asked me could I give them a shout out because it's really important that people visit and are interested. So here it is, Tony and the team, you're absolutely amazing. What you've done and how you just inspired my little niece how to use a real telephone was absolutely fantastic. The telephone collection was really interactive, and you could really see how the GPO did their job. Another great touch is that you can ring each public phone box, and the kids absolutely loved it.
And you dial 123 for the talking clock.
5, precisely. At the third stroke, it will be 2, 5, and 10 seconds.
And you dial 1.
I also absolutely loved this Showmans Caravan. Built in 1910, it was owned by Tom Clark, who ran fairgrounds in the area, and it is just so beautiful, an absolutely fantastic example of a restored caravan from that time. Just as I was about to leave, I saw this. Ooh, prison cell blocks. You know me, I love me prisons and my crime and punishment. So this again was brick by brick from Ledbury in Worcestershire, and it's a courthouse prison block. So this is where people were kept before they went to the magistrates' court. Oh, God, I get so spooked out when I come in prison cells. If you haven't watched my video about the Birmingham lockup, I was spooked. It doesn't take much to get me spooked, but prison cells do make me spooked. And in these, we've still got the original porcelain bog. So yeah, I was just about to leave and I thought, oh, it says prison block. Must go and have a look. Absolutely fascinating. Let's go in the one next door. Okay, this one's empty. This one you can just get an idea of the size, which of course is small. So much to see here that I wasn't expecting. Came for the prefab, left with a prison. And that's why getting out and exploring is what I love to do. Oh, we've got some steps. to have a look through a keyhole here. I'm too scared. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Well, I came to see a prefab and I ended up mooching around loads of stuff. This place is brilliant, and again, there's barely anyone here. Come and support places like this, because without it, the history will die, and that's something that I never ever want to see happening. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, or if you're feeling really generous, a nice subscribe would be amazing. Until the next one, where I'll go somewhere else, hopefully interesting, I'll see you all soon. Bye!